Hi, this is Karen and welcome to another card making tutorial at dolallycrafts. This is another Kiss card, keeping it simple stamper. As I said, this is the card we're making today, and as I've explained before, I'm still waiting on some new papers and products from our new catalogue for 2020-2021. So I've rummaged through my scraps, of which there are hundreds of thousands, and this is the paper I came up with. I'm also using an old die set. The one I've used for this card is Botanical Builder framelets dies. Now, I picked up the framelets in the clearance rack because I'd wanted some nice big leaves, but I wasn't able to get the stamp set, so I'm just using the dies for this card, and to give a little bit of an oomph to the die cuts, I've actually sponged the edges, something I don't normally do, but I needed to give them some extra pizzazz, and that's what I did. Now, as you can see, I've put the gorgeous gold faceted gems in the center of the three florals, but I've also scattered some clear rhinestones over the rest of the card. So I hope you like this one. The sentiments are from one of the new sentiment sets, which is Special Celebrations. I'm using this card is filled with love, and on the inside, and hugs and happiness and hope, from my heart straight to yours. So as you can see, the inside is decorated just with an offcut of the paper. Now, I'm pretty sure this was celebration paper from 2019. So, yeah, we're going back a ways, and if it's not, I can't remember what the paper is. So, I'm trying to give you a little bit of inspiration with the design of the card, not necessarily showing you how to use products, unless you've got all of this in your stash. The colours I'm using today, I'm using two old ones that went out this year, which was Lovely Lipstick and Call Me Clover. I'm also using a couple of colours that we have in our colour shop or colour catalogue, Pumpkin Pie and Early Espresso. One's from the neutrals and one's from the bolds. So even though it's a keep it simple card, we're using a few different products. As I said, this is just to put them all together and come up with something different. Okay, all of the measurements and everything can be found on my blog. The link to the blog can be found in the description panel down below. I'm using a side fold card in the landscape. It's one of the ones that I've actually got printed with my logo on the back. So yeah, let's get on with it. Dimension of the card is 5.5 by 4 1/8. As I said, all of the dimensions and everything, the sizes and whatnot, can be found in my blog. Now, I've cut out a piece of the DSP, and I've also got a bit of the Early Espresso cardstock. I'm looking at the moment, there we go. I keep picking stuff up and then putting it down on top of stuff that I need. Okay. No, we don't put it on this piece, we put it on this piece. So I'm just going to put some snail along the edge there, and then give a very fine edge of the Early Espresso. I don't want to dominate the paper, I just want to give it a bit of an edge, and I'm just matching the Early Espresso with the centre of the florals. So I'll move that out of the way for a moment. We will be using the silicone matte a fair bit with this card, only because it stops my my grid paper from getting too messy, as you will see with the sponging in a few minutes. So I've got plenty of snail on the back of that, and I'm just giving that a 1/8 of an inch border on the three sides, and I think you'll agree that this early espresso border across the top just gives it a something, just defines it a bit more. Okay, before we go any further, I'm going to do the sentiments. So out with the early espresso. And this one says, this card is filled with love. Sorry, it's a bit hard reading it backwards. So that will go just here. There we go. That's really pretty. I love the font on this. I don't know what font it is, but I really like the font. Okay, and while we've got the early espresso out, I will open the card up and we'll put the inside sentiment in. Make sure I've got it up the right way. And talk about over inking your stamp. Look at that. But I think this stamp pad's actually drying out a little bit. So I just want to make sure I've got plenty of ink on there. Hold it down to let it transfer. There we go. That's not too bad. I think I do need to re-ink this, but that's fine for now. Okay, so I'll pop that aside. Now I'm going to bring my silicone mat back in and the die cuts that I made before I started filming. And I did this because I just wanted to get them over and done with. You can use whatever dies or punches you have to do this little bit. Now I've got my sponges here, so I'm going to bring in the pumpkin pie and get some on my sponge, and then I will start with the red, the lovely lipstick. Okay, so that's those two done. And then I think this is Grapefruit Grove, another colour that actually went out in May. Now I've edged the florals, and what I'm going to do is just pound my sponge over the images, over the dies, just to give a bit of a speckled look to each of the florals. You probably can't see that on camera. I will lift one of them up and see if I can get that. See how it's got speckles all over it? Yeah. So that's that one. And I can put the pumpkin pie away now. And I'm going to come out with the Call Me Clover and do basically the same thing with the leaves. So they're all done, and I'm just going to go and clean my hands. Okay, so I'll move that to the side and then bring in my bone folder, and what I'm going to do is just hold the bottom of each of the petals, or the centre of each of the petals, and I'm getting pumpkin pie all over my fingers now, and I'm just burnishing and curling the edges of the die cuts up. It does make the envelopes a little bit bulky when it's going through the mail, but I would prefer to put some creases into the die cuts before they go in the envelope, so that it has a little bit of life in it before it gets to the recipient, because no doubt by the time it gets to the other end they'll have been squashed and mangled by the post anyway, and hopefully some of the life that I've put into the die cuts will remain, even though they'll have been flattened out in the post to some degree. Okay, I'm going to come in with dimensionals and glue dots now. So glue dots first. Pop the card over there for a moment. In with the glue dots first. I'm just going to take glue dots off there, pop it into the center. Doesn't want to come off my finger. Ah! Okay, and then pop this one on top, alternating it a little bit. And then the same with the smaller ones. In there. Ah, it's stuck to my finger instead. Here we go. And then we'll pop that on. And then once I've adhered them together, I'm just going to fluff them up again. Just a little bit. Okay, next glue dot. There we go. And then just fluff them up just a little bit. Let's get in with the faceted gems. And we will pop a large one, a nice large one in the center, and then two small ones in the center of our smaller florals. And before I put my silicone matte away, I'm going to put some snail across another small piece of the DSP, and this will go just along the inside bottom of this card. It's sticking to my fingers. Oh, I'm not having any fun here. Okay. I'm giving it an 1/8 inch border again across the bottom there, and that just gives it a little bit of decoration inside. Now, in with a dimensional on the back of our largest floral. And that's just going to go up the top here in the corner. And then another couple of glue dots on the back of the smaller flowers, and I'm just going to poke them under the larger petals, and the same with this one. It doesn't want to stick. Ah, there we go, and just pop that one up here. I actually got a bit of green on these leaves, so I'm going to pop the leaf with the green on under there, and then come in, whoops, with our leaves. Pop one under there, and one there. It doesn't matter if it comes slightly off the edge of the card, because this card's a little bit smaller than our Aussie envelopes anyway, so it'll still have plenty of room. And then just two under here, like so. There's our little cluster there. Move that aside. Now all I need to do is come in with some of my contraband rhinestones. I'm just going to trim these off because they're on a long strip of glue and I don't want the excess glue. Oh, excuse me. I don't want the excess glue adhering any fluff or anything to the card. So I'm just going to take these excess pieces off, and then these pieces, I'm just filling in some of the small white gaps that are in the card, One of my neighbours must be walking past with their dog, because Maisie, our dog, doesn't like any other dogs crossing her patch of pavement. And one more. And I'm going to pop that over here. So there we go. That's all of our rhinestones on, and that's our card finished. So there's the one we started with. I added a couple of extra leaves on this one, but I think you'll agree it's quite a simple card to put together, and it's quite effective. I really like it. I love the colours, and yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden that went out of focus. There we go, and you can see the cards up close then. I really think they look pretty. I love the colours. Yeah, I just wish that we'd been able to keep Call Me Clover and Lovely Lipstick in for an extra year and gotten rid of the ones from the last 12 months. Anyway, that's my opinion. I'll say goodbye for now, and I will see you again in the next card tutorial that I put out. So stay safe, and yeah, if you want to support me and you live here in Australia, please consider purchasing from me. All the details can be found in the description box below, and there's a link to my website where you'll get all the measurements and everything. That's enough from me for today. I'll bid you farewell. Bye bye. Have a great day.